Welcome back, Raider Nation and my champions. This is Eric, and yes, we are live in a live stream. We're going to be doing our game review of yesterday's 17-13 win over the Denver Broncos, sweeping them this year. Bye-bye, donkeys. And, of course, I have to have the beanie back on, back by popular demand. I know you guys all love it, so I wore it once again. I changed the shirt, of course. The other one's in the wash, so... Anyway, how are you guys doing out there tonight? I see a few people already coming in. If you're watching on the replay, we do these just about every Monday at 6 o'clock Pacific. We do a game review of Sunday's game. You come join us. I see a few of you already in here. Israel 2010, good to see you. You said, I'm glad the Raiders offense make the adjustments at halftime, scored enough points to take the lead in the fourth quarter, and the defense prevented the scoring in the second half of the game. And you took my whole show. No, I agree. I'll get into it a little bit more as far as the game review goes on the offense and the defensive side. Of course, I'll go over the 4 keys to the game that I had in my game preview and give you grades on the offense and defense in general. Welcome to the show, everybody who's here and everybody who's watching on the replay. So let's get right into this. And this is how we normally do it here. We have our format here and what we call the rundown. So we have our own individual segments here. And then at the end, we do a question and answer segment with you guys. And I take your questions and we can have discussions here on the live chat as well. Also, if you're watching this on the replay, you can put your comments below. And if YouTube gives them to me, I will respond to those. So let's get right into it. Raider Wolf, good to see you here. I saw you put something in there as well. I'll talk about that the second half during the game review, but yeah, I agree with you there, Raider Wolf. Let's get to the first thing before the review I want to talk about is had a little problem with the car here. Got a little check engine light here, so a couple times during the game, Carr looked like he was dinged up. The first one is where he was sacked. He got the fumble. He lost the fumble there. And it looked like maybe it was possibly a shoulder on his non-throwing arm. He went into the tent to be evaluated. When they got the ball back, Nathan Peterman had to stay on the bench. He went right back out there, no problem. And then the other one was 4th and 1. He did a quarterback sneak, and he came up a little bit gimpy. They weren't sure if it was a knee, leg type related. But then later on, he scrambled away from Shelby Harris, and it didn't look like it was affecting him. So there's no word on that at all, so I don't think that's an issue. As far as the other injury, they talked about it right after the game. They thought it was perhaps a chest injury. Now, Rich Bisaccia said in today's press conference that it's more of a rib-type injury, and it basically hurts him when he coughs, so he told him not to cough. That's like that old joke, you know. You go to the doctor and it says, Doc, it hurts when I pee, and he tells you not to pee. But no, that aside, though, I think it's probably just bruised. I'm sure he will be playing next week. I don't see an issue with that. He came right back into this game. So that said, let's get right into our game review. We're going to start, of course, on the defensive side of the ball. Now, as always, we do our game reviews, and I want to go over my keys to the game, and then I'll give an overall grade to the defense on my report card. Now, my first key to the game in my preview was getting this defensive line going, especially Max Crosby. He hadn't had a sack this season since the last Denver game, and my expectations for this team, or for this unit, was 3 sacks, 10 quarterback hits, and 3 turnovers. Now, I know that's a little lofty, but still, we're dealing with Drew Lock here. And what they actually got were 2 sacks, 3 quarterback hits, but no turnovers. So I'm going to give this one a B overall. I can't really give it an A because we didn't get really any turnovers off of Drew Lock in this game. But they did do a pretty good job pressuring him, and even more so to my second key, and that was defending the run. I think Max Crosby defended the run maybe the best he has in a game that I've seen him in a game in this game. So that, of course, that is my second key to the game, was slowing down this run game because, you know, Drew Lock was coming in for an injured Teddy Bridgewater on concussion protocol. Drew Lock is a turnover machine. I figured the Broncos are going to want to lean heavily on their run game, and they tried to do that. And my goal was under a century mark for both of these guys and less than 2 touchdowns. And what we got was between Gordon and Javonte Williams, they only had 14 carries for 8 total yards. They did get that 1 touchdown. But I'm going to give them an A+ as far as this grade goes, as this goal goes, because I can't really knock them. They started on the 1-yard line based on a turnover from the offense. I can't really, knock them, basically giving them a yard. Stuffed them, took them out of their game. Drew Lock, he was actually a little bit more disciplined. Unfortunately, I was hoping to see more of the wild and crazy Drew Lock. I'm sure we would have had at least an interception or 2. He looked a little bit more composed than he did last year in the game when he had four interceptions. But still, we shut down that game. And I'm going to tell you what, by doing that, I could tell Drew Lock wasn't going to beat us. We had that, we got that go-ahead field goal. Well, go-ahead field goal. We're up by 1 point. We went to 4 points. It was about 7 minutes left. I knew this game was salted away unless we did another stupid mistake and basically gave him another touchdown, because I knew Drew Lock wasn't going to he was going to march down the field and get a touchdown. Maybe he'd get a field goal, but he's not going to march all the way and get a touchdown. And that was exactly the case. So overall, I'm going to give this grade for a defense an A. 13 total points against. Again, the offense gave up the ball 3 times, but 2 of those times, one was at the 1-yard line and one was in field goal position already, and and Denver had a 3-and-out. So you could argue that 10 of those 13 points weren't really on the defense. Technically they are, but still, great. Even 13 points is a great afternoon for these guys. 158 total yards, not rushing yards, total yards. 1 of 10 on 3rd down conversions Denver had. Absolute nightmare because they couldn't run the ball, and we basically controlled the game. Unfortunately, we'll get to the offensive side, but the way the defense played in this game, we should have won by double digits. That's just the way it is. And we had 2, and they were disciplined too. And a lot of times, I know a lot of you guys talk about the penalties. How were we? We only had 3 total penalties in the game, 2 of which were on the defense. One was legit, Hayward pulling a part of a jersey or a string or something on Jerry Jeudy getting a PI. Yeah, he was kind of pulling him back. But this other one was absolute nonsense, and I talked about it in my halftime show if you were here. This is where Cleve Farrell got a roughing the passer call because they said he went low. But you could see here, Dalton Reisner pushed him in the back and pushed him down. If you could see this in the video, it was absolute crap call. Even, like I said, even Gene Stenator, the CBS official representative, the Mr. Index Card himself, who's in retirement now, he even said it was a bad call. So I'm going to say they only got 1 penalty. This was a bullshit call. So the 1 was legit on Hayward. Great job overall by the defense. If you are enjoying this, again, give it a thumbs up. It helps with this algorithm. It helps spread the word. And when you subscribe, hit that bell notification so you're notified of these, especially if you're watching this on the replay, so you can be here live with me. You can interact with myself and the other people in the chat. And of course, as normal, we went live on Christmas Eve, and we're going to do this again on New Year's Eve. We're going to do our game preview against the Indianapolis Colts. And I'm going to talk to you about how we can tame this big Mustang, arguably the best running back in the league, especially this season, Jonathan Taylor. We're going to start at 6 o'clock like we normally do. We have a lot of fun with it, and I encourage you all to come out and join us. So with that said, let's get right to the offensive side of the ball. Now on the offensive side of the ball, it's kind of a mixed bag, obviously. I think for the first quarter they were doing okay, and then the wheels kind of fell off right before halftime with those turnovers. But they kind of redeemed themselves, if you saw my thumbnail, especially Josh Jacobs. But let's get right to the keys to the game. And the first one, of course, is Derek Carr. I'm going to make him my number 1 key to the game every week. And that not only includes him, but Greg Olsen with the play calling. And here's my expectation. I wanted at least 50% on 3rd down conversions and 2 red zone touchdowns. And you know what? They did that. They were 6 of 12 on 3rd down conversions, 50%. and they got 2 red zone touchdowns. One to Hunter Renfrow, passing the ball, and the other one on the second half where they drove down and Peyton Barber kind of cleaned it up after Jacobs did most of the work. But still, it counts. 2 red zone touchdowns. Well done. But I gotta give Carr a B- here because of the turnovers. I can't give him an A. The one pass was telegraphed. I said in the halftime show. That's why Bradley Chubb bounced back. It was a good play by him, but still, he saw it coming. And then the other one, he fumbled. He had 2 of the 3 turnovers. He fumbled when he got sacked. Again, still a good job, but the turnovers, and it probably could have made a difference if we played a real good team instead of a team with basically no offense. Hey, Sandy B, how are you doing? So my second key to the game, obviously, I wanted to stop the run on one side, and I wanted to get our running game going. I wanted 100 yards plus from Jacobs and crew. So that includes Barber, everybody. So I said 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. What they got was 33 carries for 155 yards and a touchdown. And awesome job overall. But I'm going to give it a B+. I can't give it an A because of the fumble by Jacobs. Otherwise, I'd give this an A. Jacobs, as you saw in the thumbnail, he didn't even get hit. He just fumbled it away from his hands. Terrible play. But then second half, he came back. He came back with a vengeance, especially on that first drive. He wanted to make good on it. You could tell he was pissed off, and he wanted to make good on it. And you know what? I'm not gonna. You don't want the team to make mistakes. I get that, but you know what? They make a mistake and they come back and rectify it. That's a good job. But to me, that's great. That's why I give it a B+. He came out and ran really hard, especially in that first drive. He ran so hard he got tired. He had Barber came in and basically took the touchdown, vultured the touchdown away. So you guys playing fantasy, sorry about that, but on that drive, I believe they only passed 1 time on the whole drive. The rest of it was Josh Jacobs. And they controlled the game. After that second half, they controlled the game. So overall, I'm going to give this offense a B. Now, they only scored 17 points. You could say, why are you giving them a B? 17 points, 342 total yards. I'll give you my reasons why. Number 1, this is a really good defense, okay? And they had the 3 turnovers, but they had the moxie. They had the moxie to come back. They were down 13-7, and they came back. Not only that, at the end of the game, Fangio punted the ball with about 4 minutes left. Now, Quentin Jefferson made a good play, sacked the quarterback. They couldn't go for it. They were about midfield, but it was like 4th and 16. So I could see why he punted, but they never got the ball back. We ran it down their throat. And then that 3rd down and short call, perfect play. They came rushing in. They thought they were going to run the ball again. Alley-ooped it over to Foster Moreau. 1st down, game is over. So well done overall to the team. Again, they came out. They had their mistakes, but they came back. They fought back. That was, if anything, that's what Raider Nation has been looking for. I haven't seen it. It looked like, especially with the Chiefs game, it looked like they just kind of rolled over and died. They didn't even try to fight, even though they were like stomping on their logo and all that nonsense. This time they came back with a vengeance in the second half. And now, guys, this is 2 games now where they've done pretty well against teams that like to run the ball. With Nick Chubb, they did pretty well. They especially the first half. Second half, he got a little bit in there, but this was absolutely a great, especially with Drew Lock being in there. They were going to run the ball, and they do it pretty well. So well done to this team overall. And now we move on to the Colts, and I'm going to be looking at your questions here. We're going to our question and answer segment. Let me see here. How you guys doing today? I see you guys already made a few comments here. How you guys doing? I saw you here. Yeah, Jacobs he didn't redeem himself. He was running with vengeance out there. That second half, he was not going to play. He was not going to play any games at all. So, let's Let's see. Raider Wolf says he really needs to clean that up. Hold on to the ball. Yeah, and like I said, it wasn't like a defender came in and poked it loose. He was just fumbling around with it. There's no excuse for that, really. So he needs to get that done. Hey, Lobo Ohio, good to see you in here. We're just talking about the game review of the 17-13 win against the Denver Broncos, sweeping those donkeys. It's a good feeling because they're a rival team. Even the fans, how far you go back to the Mike Shanahan days and all that, a lot of bad blood between the two teams. Not so much now, of course, with Al and Al no longer around. Mike Shanahan's moved on and retired, but still, it's still a divisional rival, and it's good to sweep these kinds of teams. So we did pretty well. We did some stupid things in the second quarter. We redeemed ourselves in the second half and kind of closed out this game. The run defense was outstanding the whole game. I did not expect that. I was looking at maybe 60, 70 yards given up and a touchdown. Like I said, 18 yards. And Melvin Gordon had like -4 yards. 7 carries, -4 yards. How do you get -4 yards? And our run defense isn't that good, so great job overall. And it gives me some hope, some optimism for next week against the Colts, because they're the same type of team. They have a crappy quarterback, Carson Wentz. I make no bones about it. I've been saying it since the offseason. Even when the NFL Network was applauding Carson Wentz, he's going to be the comeback player of the year. Yeah, right. They have a crappy quarterback. They have a great running game, and they have a good defense. This sounds familiar. This sounds like last week. Kind of sounds like Cleveland as well, to be honest. So it gives me some hope that we can take on Jonathan Taylor and maybe lessen him. I don't know if we can stop him to 18 yards, but you know what? We'll see. I'll get a little bit deeper into that on Friday when we go into our game review. Like I said, we'll be here live on New Year's Eve, 6 p.m. Pacific. We'll have a little fun, maybe a little toasting, and maybe some New Year's resolutions. Who knows? We'll play it by ear, and then we'll get off of here and go party until midnight. How about that? Let's see. Raider Wolf says, by the time Sunday comes around, there should be some negative results on the test. Oh yeah. If you haven't heard, this came out today. What Raider Wolf is alluding to, we had a number of players pop positive on the COVID testing today, and they were like all on the defense. So we had Corey Littleton, Perryman, KJ Wright, Casey Hayward, Darius Phylan, and Illuminor. Not Illuminor, he was already on there. Onwar Usor. I have a hard time pronouncing that. He's our backup linebacker. He used to play for the Jets. So we have really like 5 kind of starter guys, especially if Hankins is out. This could be trouble. Now, with the protocol, they can test negative later on in the week and be good to go if they've had the you-know-what. And so I don't know if we're going to get everybody back. That's a problem. I would say out of this group that I'd want back is I would want Perryman back for sure. He's number 1. Phylon as well, because I'm not sure if Hankins is going to be playing this week, if he's going to be back from that back injury. He missed the Denver game. He played pretty well in this game. So we need those kind of guys to stop the run. So I'll give a further update on that on Friday as well as part of the injury report and the COVID report. Now we have to have the COVID report as well for the game review. So that'll be very interesting. Do you know how many are out because of COVID? Yeah, those 5 plus the other ones. The only ones that were the only person that's been cleared that I've seen from the ones from last week right now is Nate Hobbs. So let me see. Faison, Teamer, Illuminor, Mariota, and Brian Edwards are still under protocol. Hobbs is listed as active, so he's cleared the protocol right now. So, yeah, unfortunately, let's see. Raider Wolf says, You don't really need Littleton back. I'm not worried about that dude. Well, he hasn't started in what, 2 games now. So yeah. So basically, right now, technically, we only have one linebacker on the active roster as of right now. That's Divine Diablo. So we definitely need Perryman back. Oh my gosh, especially against Jonathan Taylor. Let's see. Sandy B says, I think a few will come back in, but some will still be out. Yeah, that's what I think too. I think we'll get a few back. I wouldn't mind getting Brian Edwards back on the offensive side, but Zay Jones did pretty well overall. Deshaun Jackson was a little warm early, and I didn't hear much from him. The thing with Denver in the game is they were trying to protect against the deep pass. So if you look at Carr's numbers, I didn't put them out there. Excuse me. 20 of 25, but he only had like 200 yards passing. And he was going short to mid, a lot of checkdowns early, but he was doing those short to mid ones later on. And if they're covering deep, that's what you do. And you run the ball and you run it down their throat, and that's what they did. So I don't knock Carr in that instance for that. So overall, he did pretty good except for those turnovers. Let's see. Sandy B says, people think that because of this, Waller will come back. What do you think? Well, Rich Bisaccia during the press conference today kind of hinted that Waller would be coming back for this game against the Colts. So stay tuned. He's hinting that he's likely going to be doing the walkthroughs on Wednesday. They do a Wednesday walkthrough, and then Thursday and Friday they do a full practice. So it'll be very interesting to see that. We need all the help we can get. Like I said, I'll get into it a little bit deeper during the game review. I've been starting to look at the Colts. Like I said, it's rather similar to the Denver Broncos. I think their linebackers are much better, though. I don't think the Denver linebacking core is that good, other than Bradley Chubb, to be honest. A lot of people, I think they overrate him a little bit. I think their strength, their defensive line was pretty good, but it's been dinged up, and their secondary is pretty good. But, I mean, Surtain was kind of, he didn't do a whole lot. I mean, Carr picked his throws wisely, didn't do anything really stupid except for that little lob that was telegraphed. But as far as throwing down mid-range, he didn't do that. He didn't do anything egregious today. Hey, Dominique, how you doing? Welcome in here. Raider Wolf says he's not injured. Waller is injured. He had that IT. They're not calling it a knee injury. They called it an IT. It's like this fascia on the outside of your leg that kind of holds your leg together. Kind of like gristle or something. I had to look it up when it happened, but I'm glad it wasn't knee ligaments. But I'm not sure. Some people say that he's just kind of milking it because he doesn't want to be there anymore. There's rumors of that. So maybe he was kind of holding out and thinking, well, if we're out of it, I'm not gonna push it. I'm just gonna stay on the sidelines. Maybe that was it. But now we're 8-7. If you look at the playoffs, we're tied with Baltimore and the Chargers at 8-7. By tiebreakers, they gave the tiebreaker to Baltimore. Now it's a little weird. I'd have to look because it's not head to head because the Raiders beat Baltimore, but Baltimore beat the Chargers and the Chargers beat us. So it's kind of like a Ouroboros. It's eating itself. So. But and then you look at the conference record, and I believe we have the best conference record, but we are 9th right now. So I think they did it with point differential. I'd have to look it up, but it doesn't really matter at this point. We still have 2 more games, and we have a game against the Chargers. If we take care of our business and we beat the Colts and we beat the Chargers, we're going to be in, right? And we still have the tiebreaker against Baltimore. Even if they win out, we still have the tiebreaker against them. If we beat the Chargers, they'd be a game behind anyway, even though we split. So they would be out of it anyway. So I think this is going to be our biggest test. But it's good. We're having good momentum. We played 2 above average defensive teams who like to lean on the running game, and the Colts are exactly the same as that. So it's optimistic. I think it'll probably be another ugly game, but I think it's winnable if we don't have the whole defense off on protocol. Yeah, the IT band, that's what it's called. It's basically, they call it fascia on the outside of the leg, Sandy B. Yeah. Sandy B says, I don't get that, why Baltimore got that. Yeah. Dominique says, I just hope we show up and play well Sunday. It won't be easy at all, but we can do this. Yeah. Colts have been on fire lately. And Taylor is definitely in the discussion for MVP. I don't know if he'll win it over, like a Rodgers or a Mahomes or something like that, but he's definitely in the discussion. Best running back this year by far. So it's going to be a test, and their offensive line is really good. It's above average offensive line. They've spent a lot of draft capital in the offensive line. So I'm gonna do a little bit more research, dig a little bit deeper. I'm gonna see if there's anything we can do to kind of slow this down again. And then again, we have to know who's going to be here on our team. Also, the Colts, apparently they're getting some COVID positive hits too on their testing. So I'll go over that as well on Friday, because right now we don't really know who's gonna be able to come back and who's not. So Sandy P says, yes, my hubby got that from ice skating a lot. Yes. Well, this wasn't like a chronic type of a thing. This was he got kind of bent back. I saw the play, and it looked like it was a knee. Thank goodness it wasn't. We really kind of dodged a bullet there, to be honest. But one more thing I want to say, reminding me of Waller, is Foster Moreau. He had a pretty good game, probably the best game he's had this stretch since Waller's been out, for sure. Not bad overall, including that little lob pass from Carr on 3rd and short to ice the game. So he's doing well. He's doing better. I think there's been a little bit more repetition between he and Carr. Things are getting a little bit more in sync with Waller not there. So it's kind of a silver lining. I would rather have Waller back, of course. He's much more talented. Creates a huge mismatch for their defense. They do have good linebackers, but I don't think they can cover Waller. So they're probably going to have to put a safety on him. Let's see. Hey, Dominic Maldonado. Good for you. Welcome here. Let me see what you say. You said, come on Sunday. We'll put out that fire and win. I'll be on Sunday as well. We'll be live at halftime like I normally do. I just promoted the Friday live stream during my game review, because that's the next one I'll be on. I'll be on Friday. I'll probably do a poll this week. I'll come up with a poll, and we'll talk about that. But this Friday at 6 o'clock Pacific, I'll be on to do the game review against the Colts. And then, as I always do, I'll be here Sunday afternoon to do the halftime report and talk about what I saw, good, bad, and ugly in the first half. Let's see. Dominique says, the Colts' entire O-line was out Sunday, and they still won. And that O-line played great against Arizona. Yep. Mm-hmm. And Arizona's no slouch, especially that defense. That kind of surprised me. I had Arizona in that game, to be honest. It's going to be very interesting. I had Arizona in that game. That was a game that they kind of needed to keep on pace with the Rams. They didn't get it. Plus, I would think the Colts need this game against us more because it's a conference rival. But they still played well. Carson Wentz, I'm still not sold. Maybe he's a smidge better than Drew Lock. Smidge. So, let's see. Yeah, reminder, thumbs up, hit the subscribe button and all that. Yeah. So, yeah, hit the thumbs up button on here. absolutely free. Just one little click, take care of that. And when you subscribe, be sure to go to that bell. This is very important because you can subscribe. That's great. But to get the notifications of the live streams when I put them out, so I'll put them out like usually that morning or the day before, you won't get the notification unless you set that bell to all. So that's very important as well. So yes. What else do you guys want to talk about? How were your guys' Christmases? We'll talk about that. Mine was a little weird, but it was okay. Got to be with the family a little bit. That was enjoyable. But how about you guys? Let me see. Scrolling through the chat here. If you want to talk about that, we can talk about that. We can talk about what do you think our chances are of winning these next 2 games? We have won 2, and it looks like the team is playing with a little bit more fire. So I mean, if you saw me a couple weeks back, I had I gave this team no chance against the Colts. Now, especially against these last 2 teams, the Browns and the Broncos, who like to run, and we did pretty well against the run. I think we have a good chance here, but we got to clean up the turnovers. We can't turn the ball over 3 times against the Colts and expect to win. No way. Sandy B says, I like your new hat. Yes, I got rave reviews on my last live stream, so I brought it back. This is my winter beanie hat. I got it as a present from a very dear friend of mine, and I appreciate that. Let's see. Red Wolf says, I spent time with my mom and dad. Well, good. This, it's good to spend time with your loved ones. You never know, unfortunately, we could be here today, gone tomorrow. It's good to spend time with those you love, your family, friends, loved ones, especially during the holidays, Sandy B says, how do you think they're doing in the red zone now? Well, they got 2 red zone touchdowns, and I think I would have to look back at the last game where they had 2 red zone touchdowns. It's been a while. Maybe the Dallas game. That's why I put it up as a stat, because that was between that and the 3rd down conversions. Those are the 2 stats that I've been seeing on the offensive side that's really been consistently poor. I think that's been a problem in us during the losing streak we had. It was like 5 or 6 games there, if you with the Thanksgiving game thrown in there. So, but it looks like they've kind of cleaned up. They were 46% against Cleveland. They were 50% here. So we're kind of seeing a trend here. They had 1 red zone touchdown against Cleveland. They had 2 here. So it looks like the offense is starting to get moving a little bit. And, our offensive line didn't do that badly. They had 1 penalty, holding penalty on Simpson. There were a couple issues with Brandon Parker. I think we didn't convert on a 3rd down because basically the guy went right by him, and Carr had to rush the throw. But overall, they did pretty well. One of their better performances of the season, I must say. So, plus Carr was moving around. He scrambled a couple times. That's what we need out of him as well. So, pretty good overall. If you take the turnovers away, we win this game by double digits. It's easy. It wouldn't even have been close. Drew Lock is pathetic. And once you negate their running game, it's game over for them. They can't win with Drew Lock. There's no way. Let's see. I'm looking at the Miami game right now, Monday night against the Saints. So far, they're winning. Okay. I don't even think they're really in the playoff hunt. But you can watch it for football's sake. But or if you got fantasy players involved, I can understand that. But I don't think they're an issue. I think the Raiders right now, the Raiders need to take care of their business. They have the head-to-head against Miami. Even if they get in, I don't think they have a chance. Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and now they put Denver away. I don't think Denver's officially eliminated now, but they pretty much are since we swept them. They'd have to get by us as well. The Raiders need to take care of their business these last 2 games. Not to say it's going to be easy. We played the Chargers and we looked awful out there. Monday night game looked terrible. I'd like to see a little bit of revenge. No matter what happens with the Colts, even if we lose, and we end up getting out of the playoffs, I'd like to at least end the season on a high note, beating a rival team like that who talked a lot of trash against us. But of course I'd want to win both games and get into the tournament. That would be nice. Dominic says, it was great besides my Lakers getting beat, but I spent time with the family and got great gifts. Well, good for you, and Merry Christmas to all of you as well. I put a little post out with a little Raider Santa Claus. If you saw that, put a one in the chat if you saw that. Again, I'm not sure if YouTube's putting, because they have a posting feature, kind of like Twitter, Facebook, all that within YouTube itself. I'm not sure if everybody saw that. Maybe some saw it, some didn't. So let's see. Raider Wolf says we need those Saints to win. Again, Miami, I'm not worried about. They're below us. We need to take care of our business. If we take care of our business, that doesn't matter. Plus, we have the tiebreaker against them, so I'm not worried about that. That was a game where we kind of Foster Moreau stopped, gave them a gift pick six, but we clawed back and won that game. So let's see. Sandy B says, spent time with my daughter and her clan, plus my son and clan in Alaska. FaceTime is my friend. Oh, that's good. That's good. That's another thing, the age we're in now, even if loved ones move away or whatever, you can still get on FaceTime, Zoom, whatever, and at least see them kind of face to face, at least electronically. So that's better than a phone call, back in the day. So Dominique with the one. So good. Saw that. Sandy B did as well. Good. Raider Wolf says, you already know I don't like the Dolphins. Well, I'm not a fan of the Dolphins either. Don't get me wrong. I'm just focused in on what do we need to do to get one of those wild card spots. Obviously, the Chiefs, with that stomping of the Steelers, they won the AFC West, if you don't know that. So we're going to be fighting for a wild card against the likes of the Ravens. Basically, the AFC North, they're all kind of in it. I think Pittsburgh's a half game below us because they had that tie, and then Cleveland's a game below. Baltimore's the same record as us, and then Cincinnati's got 9 wins right now. So there's 3 spots, right? 4 division winners. They added that 7th playoff spot, the 3rd wild card spot. So like I said, if we take care of our business, we can get this. We can do this. So let's see. Sandy B says, like the song Taking Care of Business. Oh boy, TNV. That's the wrong show, Sandy B. No points. No points for you on that one. But I do like your enthusiasm. So, she's mentioning I do a monthly music trivia, video trivia show on a different platform. And I'll be doing it the first Tuesday as well. If you want any information on that, put a 1 in the chat. How about put a 4 in the chat? How about that? So we know that. So if you want that, then I'll throw a link in the description. If you want to go on that, it has nothing to do with the Raiders. This is more like something I also do on the side. I do a few other things as well. So appreciate the shout out though, Sandy B. Anyway, let's see. Anything else you guys want to talk about? You guys gonna come to my rockin' New Year's Eve party at 6 o'clock? There might be a libation or 2 involved with that. We'll see. Hopefully, not like we did with our 100th video show. Well, I was okay during the live stream here. I did a 100th video live stream in the off season. Had a little champagne. Unfortunately, things got a little out of hand after the live stream, so we gotta know when to say when. I'll just leave it at that. I know some of you in the chat know about the after party and all that. So we'll just kind of behave ourselves at that point. So 4 plus be well. Yeah, I also do a channel called Be Well that does like relaxation type things, completely different from the Raider channel. That's why I don't promote it. I might kind of put a link on the page about it, but it has nothing to do with that per se. So let's see, Sandy, you're already involved with TNV though. So anyway. Does anybody else have anything related to the game you want to have any comments? Anything I didn't mention during the game itself that I might have forgotten? Or let's see. One other thing, I would give a shout out, maybe even a game ball, maybe kind of a fringe, but definitely a shout out to Desmond Trufant, the DB. Played pretty well overall in the game. Kind of next man down. I mean, if you look at it, Damon Arnett, Mullen, Faison, it's like next man down. So, yeah, Trufant had a pretty good game. The guys didn't really get... It's a little bit of it, but the first game they really got kind of beat up on by those big wide receivers they have. But I think it's because of Drew Lock and our ability to stop the run game. That played huge for us. So let's see. Sandy B says, I do promote it. Yes, he did. And good for him. Desmond Trufant. So, yeah, when you come Friday at 6 o'clock Pacific, we'll do a little New Year's Eve. We'll do, of course, the game review. That's what gets you your ticket into the party. But maybe we'll have a little Q&A, maybe a little libation. We'll take it a little easy, though. You guys take it easy, too, right? Know when to say when. And of course, don't drink and drive. We know that really kind of impacted our team. I hope if there's anything as far as the silver lining goes, that maybe, the other players or even members of the Raider Nation kind of take that to heart and, get an Uber, get a cab, get a ride, a designated driver, what have you. And don't drive while they're drinking, All right. Raider Wolf, I'm going to close this one out anyway. Thank you for coming. Appreciate it. Go Saints. I'm not a fan of the Dolphins. They can lose the rest of their games with Tua Latin, for all I care, or Tua Tagovailoa. He's overrated anyway. So, yep, go Raiders. Come see us again Friday, 6 o'clock Pacific. Again, thanks for coming, guys. I appreciate you coming here. Yeah, 8 o'clock Central, 9 Eastern. Yes, 8 o'clock Central time, Sandy B. Again, appreciate you guys all coming out. Thank you very much. And as always, go Raiders.
Ask you something, with all the distractions that you have off the field, how are you able to keep focused on winning football games as you do and do throughout the year?
When you have great coaches, then after you have great coaches, you get great players. You have a great organization, and you tell them one thing: just win, baby.